How's it? How does it taste?
It tastes like real. It's actually good though. It's like
good. Yeah, bueno.
You know what? Let's just start. Okay, so basically this is a little like a Western sort of tale, passed down generation to generation, sort of in my like truth, whatever. It doesn't really matter. But it's actually like a true story originally. I think I saw it on National Geographic, or not me, someone. Like in an article a long time ago, and it all starts with this guy named Sam. Okay, so Sam is Sam is this guy. He's like born to this farming family in like the prairies, Midwest, and he's like the 12th of like 12 children. So by the time he pops around, like his mom's been baking these kids like cakes, and is absolutely sick of him, and he's like mistreated, neglected, whatever. Okay, super ugly too, ugly duckling sort of vibes. Yeah, so he's like the 12th of like 12 children. All his like older brothers hate him, his sisters hate him, his brothers are smarter than him, his sisters are all like stronger than him to beat him up frequently.
Please don't beat me up, sister. Oh. I'm sorry.
And all he's trying to do is like prove to his family that he's like worth a damn. So his whole life, like he's doing stuff. So he decides like, okay, I'm gonna install gas lanterns in the house, and he ends up burning the house down. For example, he decides that he's gonna like start a dairy farm, and instead there's just like cow manure everywhere, like whatever. So basically, he's convinced he's a failure, and he kind of is, like in a way. Not to be mean to him, but like he's kind of a big mess. Yeah, he is absolutely awful, and so one by one his brothers and sisters are like successful and he's not, which is very relatable. And he like is convinced like, am I just a failure? Like, is there something I can do? When he's like a teen, flash forward, 1849 rolls around, and it's something called the Gold Rush. And like he's like, wait, this could be my chance. It's like a bunch of people who haven't made it anywhere are like gonna go to California and try to strike gold, you know? So they're like, okay, I'm gonna go. He tells his family his big plan, and like the last thing he sees is like his parents like spitting on him as he like leaves the house. They're laughing at him. So, anyways, do you want to order? It's a quick intermission. What did we order?
We ordered like each of the two pinchitos. We're like gonna taste all.
Okay. So while I'm waiting for my succulent Spanish tapas, I shall eat this chorizo.
We're in Madrid.
Yeah,
we're in one of the best tapas street in Madrid.
We're in here, by the way.
Yeah.
We flew all the way here to film this video.
Yeah.
That'd be really sad if we did.
No. We did.
We did. Sorry.
Yeah,
So like,
it is sad. It is
editor,
sad.
edit that out.
Yeah.
Hi YouTube. I'm Edward. I'm the camera guy.
Hi.
Hi, Edward.
That was good.
Kobe looks disgusted.
Round 3. We gotta get some shots. And I think it's been open for like 200 years.
No way. Older than you? That's older than me.
200 years older than
That's
you?
older than me.
Yeah, that's not Harrison's not having a good time.
Hey, what's better than this?
Guys being dudes.
Or the Dutch angle is. Oh, this man knows how film works.
I know, my
Oh
Dutch
my god, oh my lord.
Thor 1 vibes for sure.
Yeah. Alright, go for it. My watch thinks I'm working out.
Wow. This movie's that
You
intense.
see this?
Huh?
This shit's fat shaming me. Like, actually.
Oh, wait, hold on. Look.
Look at that. I'm just eating food and it thinks I'm working out because I'm so fat.
Fast forward, like, he arrives in California, and immediately he's, like, making friends for the first time ever, because it's, like, there's a bunch of people who are, like, gone through the same stuff he's gone through. So he's absolutely, like, having a blast working in these mines. And even though he hasn't struck gold yet, he's, like, just feeling optimistic about the future. He makes a few friends. And then one day he goes to like a bar and meets this like beautiful girl. I think her name is Mary, and like is mesmerized, and they start a relationship as well. And like for the first time things are going well. So that gives him like the motivation every day to walk into this mine and mine this gold or whatever. And even though he comes back empty-handed, he knows that at least he's got a place. But then one by one, you know, his friends start like striking gold. And they start leaving him, and they start going to the like boom town, and he's like left on the outskirts in his little shanty. And eventually it's just him and Mary. Mary's stuck by him all this time. He doesn't know why, but he just wants to like make her proud. And he's starting to realize like maybe I once again am just destined for failure. So flash forward, it's months now, no one's left except for him and Mary, and they're just like so they're basically just like living in this like outskirts of town. They're poor. He's tired. He's sick. And then one day he comes home. Okay, right? And Mary's like, I have news. I'm pregnant. And he like he doesn't know how to take it. He's like, oh my god, like I can barely support myself, let alone my wife, let alone my unborn child. So he decides to he goes to the mine, he gets into a mine cart, and he decides I'm gonna kill myself. And he takes off the brakes and like just sends it. And he's like, this mine cart, we're just gonna let it roll, and when it crashes, I'm gonna, whatever happens, happens. So he gets in. He's exhausted, he's tired, he doesn't, you know, he just feels like there's nothing else he can do because he's gonna let this child down. So he gets into the minecart, takes off the brakes, and just starts like screaming, goes through this, you know, dusty mine at full speed ahead. He gets into this cart, he's screaming, there's tears rolling down his eyes, there's absolutely nothing going through his head other than this is gonna be like the last minute of my life. And the screeching that the cart is making is like ridiculously loud, and it's drowning out his screams. But then all of a sudden you hear this big like crash. The minecart goes straight into the side of the wall. He gets flung out, goes straight into the wall, hits the rock head on, and then just falls. So now it's, you know, if you were there, you wouldn't see anything because it's just a pile of rock and dust that has been come up. And as the dust settles, we see our friend Sam sitting there, knocked out, arm backwards, broken, But then he's, makes a noise and his eyes open up. He's alive, and he immediately starts bawling because he's like, "Wow, I can't even kill myself right." And then he starts crying. And he's in extreme pain too because his whole body, his bones are shattered, whatever. But as he wipes away the tears, he starts to see these little flecks of light in the dust, in the rock. He's like, "Wait a second." He starts seeing these little flecks of dust. So he's starts with his bare hands, his bare knuckles, breaks into the rock. And there's this biggest, this huge, shining feature of gold. And all of a sudden, feature of gold. It's a vein. That's what I'm looking for.
Oh, a vein.
Good. Yeah. Good. All right. So, dude, you need to be telling this story. I don't know. And he starts breaking into his bare hands, and it just keeps going. It just keeps going. So with he runs. He limps back home at full speed ahead, even though it's excruciating pain. Picks up his wife, hugs her, just screams in ecstatic joy, spins her around, gives her a billion kisses, and then immediately, without saying a word, he says, "I'll be right back." He grabs his toolkits, and he runs back to the mine, or hobbles back to the mine, and digs all night. And in the morning, he's uncovered the biggest nugget of gold that the town has ever seen. And overnight, he's the richest person in California, or something like that, or in his county. So, great, he heals. His child is born. Everything is going well. He becomes an important member of the community. He becomes mayor of the town, and he builds a nice mansion on a hill that overlooks the whole town in the valley. And everything's going well. Everything's going great. And he thinks, once again, maybe I have found my place. This is my place. He's living in this big house. He's mayor. He has friends. And everything's going well until one day and his son dies. But you know what? He says, "We'll have another child. We'll push through." He's comforting his wife. He says, "We'll push through. We'll push through." They have their second child dies during birth. And again, I think he starts to realize, right? Not to be deep or anything, but he's money isn't success, my life is still shit. Whatever. And essentially, he's getting old now. This is 5-6 years in the future, right? He's getting old. He's tired, and his wife is absolutely heartbroken. There's nothing you can do to get her out of bed in the morning. And one day she dies, just from the heartbreak and everything. Passes away, and the only anchor he's had left to our material earth has passed away. He doesn't want anything else. He doesn't need anything else. So he melts down all the gold he has into this beautiful golden sarcophagus, or tomb or whatever, and he places her in it, and then he dies, very Romeo and Juliet. And the word goes to the town, and immediately, right, people are once again, wow, his children have died, he's died, there's something weird happening with that house, so no one touches it. And over the years, it becomes a ghost town. No one's even buried the sarcophagus with his wife, Mary, into the ground, because it's just sitting in the attic. And soon enough, the gold dries up, the legends abound, and it just becomes that creepy house. People start leaving the town. It becomes from a boom to a bust, and people start leaving, and the house just stays there. And so what am I trying to say? Home slowly decays, and the town decays, and it just becomes every other Western town. No one even knows about this story. No one opens the door to the house until 20 years later, when a guy named John enters the story. We can eat food, and then we'll head over, and we'll just continue it over there. I didn't smell it first. I don't know what I'm doing. Sí, es bueno, gracias. Gracias. So we're drinking Ribera right now. So we had una Rioja at the last place, and now we're having una Ribera. 20 years later, ghost town. It's a dead Western town, but there's a little bit of the house. It's still untouched house. It's all old. And here's the a cowboy named John walks into town, okay? Very good, the bad, and the ugly style. You know, he's so cool. He fought in all the Plains Wars. He would be considered a war criminal in today's standards. And he has a horse called Too Cool. So Too Cool is the name of the horse, like 2K00L, super douchey. In fact, it's like Too Cool is like a license plate tattooed on this horse's ass. Yeah, of course. True story, by the way. John is riding on the Too Cool. They have they're like best friends. They got a connection. Because he's heard about this weird golden treasure in this weird haunted house in this town, you know? But no one's ever talked about it. This town has been dead for years, but so he comes into town. All that's left in the town now is this one really shady, seedy saloon. Very Western, again. So he finds the saloon and he says, this is where I will begin my search, okay? So, him and the horse, they dab it up. And then he's like, all right, Too Cool, wait here. They give each other a wink. He walks into the saloon. Super, again, very stereotypical player piano. There's prostitutes everywhere. It's, people are drinking. What do people drink in Westerns?
Whiskey?
Sure. I don't know. So they're drinking whiskey, and everyone's having a good time. He comes down, he sits down at the bar, and he looks straight at the bartender. He says, "All right, give me 6 shots of your toughest stuff, whatever." He does it, downs them all because he's macho. He looks straight at the bartender. He's had something to drink. He says, "All right, I heard in this here parts of town we got a little gold treasure." Or something like that, and they're like, all right, like, what are you on about? Get out of here. So the bartender's like, get out of here. Like, who is this guy? You're a joke. He doesn't like that so much. He pulls out his revolver, shoots the bartender straight through the eyes, perfect. The entire bar goes silent. The player piano stops playing, the prostitutes stop prostituting, and the drinking stops drinking. The jazz music stops jazzing, even though it's a Western. The folk music stops folking, and everyone's quiet, and then all you hear is the body drop. And he looks up and he says, all right, I'm going to ask one more time. Who here can point me in the direction of this here little treasure? Or something like that. So everyone's like stunned in fear. People are sweating. This dude pissed his pants all over himself.
Kobe looks disgusted.
And everyone's too quiet to answer. He says, if you don't start answering me, I'm going to shoot up every person in here. Very American, by the way.
Yeah.
Naturally. Someone's going to tell me or I'm going to start shooting. And they're like, this little kid walks up and he's like, Mister, I'm sorry. Mister, please. Do you mean that little house up on the pound over there? Mister, please, like, it's up on the house over there, like, don't kill my mother, something. So he's like, that's all I needed, thank you. He walks out of the bar and shoots the kid. Why not?
Why not?
He shoots the kid. He shoots the kid straight through. Hold up, I gotta really quickly add this to our notes so we film a scene of us shooting the kid.
Oh wow, okay.
And he walks out, gets on his horse. That's all he needed. And he sees the mansion up on the other end of the town, up on the hill, starts meandering over there. And that's when everyone just realizes what just happened. They're like, oh shit. Everyone starts freaking out, right? Because this is like a haunted house. It's a cursed house. So they all get up. People are like, dude, don't go in there. Like, you're going to unleash some spirits. Like, quick intermission. We're getting food. So, por favor, ¿cuáles son estos?
Surtido ibérico, pan con tomate.
Gracias.
Pan de queso brie, ¿vale?
Queso brie y gracias. Did you get that? Okay, so we have tomato and bread, assorted cheeses and meats, and we have 2 more.
2 more.
Yeah.
This calls for more time.
Can you get the coin?
I'm getting the bread.
Can you also get the jam?
More bread? You want more bread? How much bread do you want? We're like a bread.
I don't know. I just want to steal that bread. There we go.
It's like for you.
Truffle brie.
No. No. It's brie real estate.
That's going in for sure.
It tastes like tomato.
Better or worse than the tapas we added during Act 1?
I'd give this like a 7. So maybe a little bit more mid, but I'm excited for that little bit of chorizo in there.
Hell yes, bro.
This knife sucks, Harry.
What? It looks like some manchego. Some manchego, see? Juan is confirmed.
Do it. We have our. Did you say like electro? Like it's like kind of different. Yeah.
Can you say? Can you? What is it?
Like electro? I don't know to say what this, but like it's not appropriate for the movie. Like
Yes. All right. So wait. You're eating tosta con brie con trufa y some sort of.
Yeah.
We'll
It's
figure it
like
out.
Bread, cheese, and
Some sort of tomato jelly.
yeah. So let's
Go for it. I feel like our movie's gonna be good just because like it's gonna make people hungry, and that alone is worth it.
My teeth hurt.
Yeah.
You know, I brush my teeth at 6 p.m.
This is good.
This
is good.
That's good. I'm
I
excited.
forgot to do it in the morning. This is really good.
Finishing the
So
cheese.
this is a super expensive ham.
Yeah, this is called jabugo.
Jabugo.
It's like the
Jamon
the
jabugo.
top qualities that you can get. Typically, if you get a full ham, this is like hundreds and hundreds of euros.
Wow.
So yeah, but for a normal dish, obviously, this is a small weight. So
Okay.
it's not the end of the world.
Action here.
Oh wait, hold on. Let me really get a nice.
You see the glisten of it?
See the sweat off the ham.
Sweat of the ham. Ready?
No, okay, I think the highest one is reserva, and that's not like a special one for like 18 or whatever, which is 1,000 euros.
It just like melts in your mouth.
Yeah.
So good.
Reserva is the fancy one. And
That-
is like
That's some of the best ham I've had.
well, it's the
Solid.
second
I might cry.
That actually felt like I was watching an Anthony Bourdain episode.
Can I get your credit card? Like, dude.
No, bro.
Can we?
So now what do we have? We have some. Is this? Is it like? No, I think it's jamon iberico. See,
I have no clue.
like Iberian ham and manchego cheese for sure.
Yeah. Cheers.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it depends on what you like, but it's very good. I really like yours.
That's really good.
Okay, so
Wait, that's like
You're a god. You're a god.
That's so big.
cut it up fast, bro. This is like a jewel heist. Like you gotta like cut it up fast before everyone notices.
Because got it in pieces so nobody noticed.
And then everyone goes crazy. It's a ghost town, right? But there's like 100, 200 people. And the whole town, everyone's crazy. Everyone's packing their bags. People are throwing their babies out the windows. I mean, it's absolute madness. And right, because they're worried that he's about to unleash some demon spirit. There's some people are hanging themselves on the tree. People are hanging themselves from the people who are hanging themselves. The kid who got shot, he didn't even die, and then a stampede killed him later on. I mean, it's crazy. It's like the worst stuff, right? So people are like begging. They're at the base of Tuchel's beautiful sculpted collection, and the horse. They're at this horse's butt, and they're like, no, don't go. You're gonna open this monster. You're gonna unleash a curse, like whatever. Because remember, they think that there's some curse in this house. So they're like, you cannot do this. You can't do this. And he's like, no, it's all right, y'all. I'm not gonna handle a little bit of house. And they're like, dude, like no, like you don't know what's in there. He's like, relax. And they're like, okay. So now people are losing their mind. They know they can't stop him. So the priest gives him like a cross. They give him like holy water. The gunsmith gives him a gun. Everyone's just like, please take this. Like, protect yourself. Fight the monster. Like, do not let it out. Do not let it out. Like, don't let the curse out. Whatever it is, right? That's because they're just scared for no reason. Because America. So the food person is like, take this food. Like you need to be strong. Whatever. The pharmacist is giving him like medicines. He even gives him like a Hall's cough drop for some reason. I think, he's like, just take this, it's dusty in there, like, you need to be on your game. So he takes everything and he says, thank you, I appreciate that. Like, he takes the cough drops, he takes the medicine, he takes the gun. He has his own gun, but he's like, I don't need it though. Takes it, puts it away, and he says, I'll be all right, y'all, like, don't worry, like, whatever. He walks up to the gate, and by this time the town is just in the background behind him. He can hear the mass screams, he can hear the old lady shooting each other, the children eating each other, the hysteria, and by the time he's almost at the gate of the mansion, the entire town is cleared out. They ran away. Except for the person who's hanging himself from the person who's hanging himself.
Yeah, of course.
There's not enough weight, so he's still dying. And he opens up the gate. Or sorry, Too Cool like just uses his hoof, opens up the gate, because he's a cool horse. And they just walk up to the mansion, and things seem to be going well. Starting to be like nighttime. He opens the door and he says, "Too Cool, I'll be right back." He leaves the horse at the door, and he walks into the house and he says, "Let's do this thing." He walks into the house. All of a sudden, the door closes behind him by itself. He's like, it's a little weird, but I've seen weirder. He's walking around the mansion, he's looking, he's going up, he's going down, he's going left, he's going right, he's going Dutch angle, he's going Norwegian angle, like whatever, dude. He's doing all that stuff. So, all sorts of creepy rats are running around, roaches are running around. It has actually dilapidated quite a bit from its glory days as a mansion. Mm-hmm. He walks around one corner, a ghost pops out, and it's like, boo, and he's like, no, you. And then the ghost gets scared because he's Macho Man John.
Oh shit, it was the ghost of the dead kid.
No, it's just some ghost. Yeah, sure, yeah.
Why not?
Yeah, why not? It's the ghost of the dead kid. He's trying to haunt him. It's some random ass ghost. True story. So, ghost pops out. He's like, okay, don't hurt me. The tomb or sarcophagus you're looking for, it's real, and it's up at the top in the attic. He looks up the stairs and he sees the attic up this long, long flight of stairs. I'm thinking, think Super Mario 64 long flight of stairs.
Nice.
At least 2 people got that reference. And he goes up the stairs, and all of a sudden, the stairs disappears underneath him and into a bottomless pit, and he just barely grabs a hold onto the side rail before falling to his death. And for the first time, he's starting to feel scared. First time, he starts to sweat, right? And he's scared, but he pulls himself up, he survives. He said, wow, I've never felt my heart beat like that. And then he's walking towards this long hallway. He sees the attic on the other hand. he's going closer, and all of a sudden a dog, like a rabid dog, jumps out at him and bites his leg. And for the first time, he's bleeding. He didn't even know he had blood, and he's terrified. He's like absolutely scared, but he manages to kill the dog, and he keeps on going. And then a skeleton pops out with like a gun and shoots him, and he raises his shoulder. And again, for the first time, he's terrified, and he manages to fight it off. But at this point, there's like a tear coming down his cheek, and he's in pain, and he's a little worried. But he's like, I can't go back now. I'm so close to this golden treasure. I need to get it. So Macho Man Johnny keeps pushing, and then all of a sudden, a bunch of bats fly out at him. But his bulletproof mustache like deflects them, but not before they get a nice scratching at his eye, and he's hurt, and he's hobbling there. So he says, I have to keep going, I can make it. And he fights off the bats, he fights it off. He's bleeding, he's crying, he's sweating, he's scared. His heart is beating. He's never even noticed his heart beating before. But he finally cobbles himself all the way to the end with all the pain, and he opens this door to the attic, and his face is immediately covered with this golden glow. Okay, we'll finish up the last part. And then
Hold on, let me see that again.
It's a 1,200 euro wine.
1,200 euro wine called Vegas.
You fucking hate him.
Yeah.
Yes, kind of. It's like a natural thing that you say in Colombian.
Do you think that we are like in conditions to do a movie?
That's the fun.
Okay.
Oh my god, you're gonna stop.
Oh, wait. Look at me. That's insane. Do that again.
You're gonna hurt yourself.
Oh my god.
Yes.
What the?
Look, your mouth is so big.
For you.
Taste this.
Yeah.
Okay, so
You have bread there if you want to stop it.
it's not stealing this time though.
Yeah, they already gave it to us.
It's not the same. It's not as cool, yeah.
Stealing is good.
That's going to be the moral of the story. We're going to change it somehow.
Next time.
We're going to change it to that.
Alright, everyone, cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. Alright. Y por favor, nos da tres aguas de grifo. Cuatro.
Cinco. Todos.
11. No.
Oh, look, that is the kid we murdered in the story, actually.
Yes. Yeah, that's true.
I already broke mine. Because I'm matando.
Making a mess.
Oh, it's the music video for the song.
I haven't taken martini in like a million years.
So fucking
You're a million years old?
stressed.
Yeah.
What's wrong, honey?
I'm being a producer, cinematographer.
I'm filming right now.
I'm like everyone but the director. That's the director there in the main actor.
Fingers in the shot.
No, you're like way down the line.
God.
Really has the Hollywood lifestyle.
God.
I'm gonna get them breathe. The Bible actually has
Please smack a bitch.
I don't know how long it is. You're good to go.
Smack a bitch.
But I mean, okay, if we're in a Western, we should like fight because like this is a Western.
Dude, alright, punch him right now.
Punch me right now.
Okay, like,
Alright, no, I was kind of like
Food will never cheat on you.
Good to hear.
Food will always be there for you.
John opens the door. He sees his beautiful sarcophagus, golden glow. Okay, all right. So, hey, I'm a coffin. I'm the coffin. That's it. Yeah, that's right. Okay. It's exactly what he's been looking for. All the pain, all the tears are worth it because he knows that he's going to be the richest guy. He's going to be the most legendary cowboy in the whole world. White or whatever. So he walks around it and he's like embracing in all its glory, and then all of a sudden it starts to rumble. And it starts to say like Lee, so creepy, right? Scary. And all of a sudden the sarcophagus just gets straight up. It just like, and it's like looking at him, right? It's a sarcophagus, it's not really, it's a coffin, right? It's not really looking at him, but like he can feel its presence gazing down upon him. And he's like, oh, shit, like I've done something, bad here. He's like, okay, I'll leave. The coffin's leave, and it gets louder and it's louder, and you can start to hear this like its heart's beating inside, like Mary's still inside or something. Yeah. And he goes, okay, I'll leave, and then it starts getting closer, and it starts coming towards him. So he runs out of the house, and then it starts chasing him. And as soon as he runs out of the house, he, knocks down the whole house, gets on the horse, and takes a few steps back, and the entire house collapses. And he says, phew, I wish I could have gotten that gold, but wow, that coffin is coming straight for me. And then all of a sudden the coffin, just when he thinks it's clear, the coffin bursts out of the rubble, and it's still there, and it's coming full speed ahead. So he gets onto Too Cool. Too Cool's like, I got you, and they start galloping away full speed ahead because they know something bad's about to happen. So they burst through the front gate, and the coffin's like 300 feet behind him. They're like, okay, we have to run away from this. Oh my God, this is terrifying. We can do this. We can get away. So the coffin starts coming closer and closer, but they are running super fast. I mean, Too Cool, faster than a Ford Mustang.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Too Cool has also a pair of sunglasses, right? Like
Too Cool has a pair of sunglasses.
of course,
Real,
yes.
real douchey horse.
Yeah, of course. Why
Scumbag
not?
horse.
So the horses, they're going straight ahead, and they run through the old town, and he's kind of scared at this point, so he's screaming for help. He's like, please, someone, hey, this thing is coming after me, the entire town is gone. There's not a single soul alive, except for the kid who's dying.
Yeah.
And they're running full speed ahead, and the coffin's like 300 feet behind him. So now he realizes, oh my God, I gotta do something about this. So he's still on the horse, he's still going straight ahead, looking back, but he pulls out the revolver that the gunsmith gave him, and he shoots the coffin like 6 times. It doesn't even flinch, and all of a sudden a red glow encompasses it, and it starts thumping, like with a even louder, and it starts laughing at him. He feels, and now he's scared. So he's running full speed ahead into this canyon nearby. He's thinking, I can get away from it there. Full speed ahead. They're marching on. The horse is he's on top of the horse. The coffin's right behind him. And all of a sudden it starts laughing, booming laughter. He shoots it 6 times, uses up every bullet in the revolver, and nothing happens. So he's like, Too Cool, we gotta go. The horse is running away. And the canyon seems to be the only place where they may be able to lose this coffin. So they go. They take a left, they take a right, they take a left, but the coffin takes a left, a right, and a left, and it's right behind them, and it's only 100 feet behind them now. He can almost feel its thrumping presence right behind it. So throbbing, that's a way better word.
Ew.
Throbbing presence right behind him.
Robbing?
It's throbbing. And there's this red glow emanating out of it, and it's laughing, and it's booming, and he has to get away. So he says, oh my God, Too Cool, this coffin it's only 50 feet behind us at this point. We need to do something drastic. So they try to jump over the ravine in the canyon, and they go for it, and Too Cool can't make it. And he manages to jump off the horse and save himself, but Too Cool falls into the canyon. You hear it, and you hear the horse neigh as it's dying towards the end. He doesn't have time to mourn the loss of his best friend, though, because the coffin just floats over the top of this ravine, and it's right behind him. It's like 20 feet behind him. But now he's trapped. He's absolutely trapped. He's used the gun that the gunsmith gave him. He throws the knives that the metal worker gave him. He has nothing left. All he has is the cross, and he knows he's about to die because all of a sudden the coffin opens up, and it opens up and there's nothing but pure evil and darkness inside, and it's about to encompass him. You can feel it. The coffin gets closer and all of a sudden it slows down. The sarcophagus opens up and there's nothing inside, just pure darkness, and he's trapped now. There's nowhere he can go. He's cornered himself and he just sits there and he starts doing anything he can to get rid of this thing. He throws the cross at it and, get the devil out of you, whatever, nothing works. The coffin starts opening up and it's slowing down, it's getting closer to him. It's only like 10 feet away, and he starts to feel this coldness encompass him, and he's terrified. He's on his knees, he's begging to the only God he's ever known that this coffin isn't going to do something to him, but it opens up wide, and all he can see in his field of vision is this huge black rectangle coming towards him, knowing that there's nothing but horrifying things inside. And all of a sudden it opens up and it gets slower and slower, and it's 5 feet in front of him. So now he's praying. He has nothing left except for the medicines that the pharmacist gave him, and he says, I can't go out like this. I cannot. He's terrifying. He's crying. He can't even hear the booming coming from the coffin anymore because he's screaming so much. And he decides to take every single pill that the pharmacist gives him. Hopefully it can just make it go out easier, and nothing works. Now the coffin is closing in on him. It's only 2 feet out, and he feels so cold, and he's screaming, and he doesn't know what's happening. And all he sees left is he has this little Halls that the pharmacist gave him, and he takes the Halls cough drop and he unwraps it, and he's fumbling with it in his hands, thinking that maybe this is a suicide pill, maybe it'll help me. And it drops into his hands, and the coffin is laughing, and it's closing in on it. There's no light anymore. There's just pure excruciatingly loud thrumping, excruciatingly loud throbbing, whatever. There's booming. The sarcophagus is about to end his existence from the rest of reality, and in this puddle of water that's draining down his face into his hands sits the cough drop, and he pops it into his mouth and he swallows it. He swallows the cough drop, and the coffin stops.
It's a coffin drop?
The coughing
Coffin
stops.
stops.
Oh.
That's the full story. That's it.
What the fuck?
We are the champions. The coffin is chasing you to death.
We are the champions of the world.